What's going on, my fellow Oxes? This is Ben, and welcome to Mind Gym Chronicles, episode 3, where we go over the sports psychology book, Mind Gym, written by Gary Mack, and we're going to go over section 3 of part 1, entitled Head Edge. Part of the closing statement in Head Edge is sports psychology is the science of success. Why am I going to open up with that statement? It's because in regards to sports, what's the ultimate goal? It's to win. It's to defeat the opposition. Sportsmanship is important, but the net of it is that we want to win. And that's how we need to approach everything in life. We want to be successful. We want the victory. And as we went over in the prior episodes, it's more mental than physical. And at minimum, it's half-half, but oftentimes it's more. So Head Edge is when the author really gets into mind gym and creating your own space where you focus on imagery in order to improve performance. So while I'm going over today's section, I'm going to play you all some B-roll of my training for today. Today I hit squats and bench press. Today was the second week in my 5-week block. So B-roll is playing. Let's get back into Mind Gym Chronicles, the Head Edge. So in Head Edge, Gary Mack, he gives a lot of examples, but I'm going to give a situation that Gary experienced when he was a youth playing soccer. And he went to a soccer clinic in which one of the guest players was Pele. So Pele said that enthusiasm and the mental edge is the key to winning. So the author, Gary Mack, goes over how Pele described his setup before he would start a game. So before a game would start, he would go into the locker room alone with 2 towels, put one behind his head, one over his eyes. And then he would create his own mind gym and where he would go to when he was a kid over in Brazil, playing, enjoying the game, playing soccer on the beaches, and then he would fast forward. So he would fast forward to his victories. He would fast forward to his win in the World Cup, scoring goals, and then after that, he would fast forward to the present time and going over how he would weave through and dismantle his opposition, therefore allowing him to win. So that further emphasizes how important creating your own mental space, your own mind gym, where you are imagining and going over what you need in order to win, how important it is to victory. In Head Edge, he goes over various case studies, but I'm just going to say one case study in particular. The one case study is, it was a basketball team and they were going over free throws. There was 3 groups. One group only focused on free throws. The second group only focused on the mental imagery. The third group spent 30 minutes practicing their free throws every day. And then they spent an additional 30 minutes every day with practicing mental imagery regarding their free throws. Needless to say, group 3 was the group that had the most improvement on their free throws. So we went over the Pele example. We went over the basketball case study. Now I'm going to give you an example of how imagery helped me during my last competition. So my last competition was the Ben Weeder, and going in, I really had 2 things I wanted to focus on. I wanted to focus on making my waist as small as possible while making sure that my shoulders were broad. And then I wanted to make sure that my shoulders, that one shoulder wasn't lower than the other when I did my back pose. So When I was in the back before getting oiled up, I was in lotus position, eyes closed, going over what I needed to do in order to have that small waist, which is, well, I already have a small waist as it is. I have a 27.5, but I wanted to make it smaller. So hike on the, well, base down on my left foot, hike that hip, have my right fist right into my glute med, really anchoring in and locking in that hip while I twisted my right shoulder and flex my lat. That was my key to looking as Dorito-like as possible, if you know what I'm saying. Upside down Dorito-like. And then for the back is always hit or miss for me. I just had to trust my instincts, go over what it felt like to have the even shoulders during practice, and have faith that I was going to be able to hit it on stage. So that's the imagery technique that I use for the bin reader. The next competition I have coming up, it's going to be military, law enforcement, firefighter nationals over in Killeen. And I'm going to use imagery as well in order to prep me for that meet. The only things that the cues are going to be different, okay? But the emphasis on imagery to help me perform to the best of my ability is going to be the same. So what do you guys think? Before you guys have an important competition, do you guys use imagery? With this video, did I convince you to start using imagery? And are you going to use it in your everyday life? Before you have an important job interview, are you going to dial it back, breathe, and go over how you're going to answer the questions? When they ask you a question, are you going to answer right away, or are you going to sit, dial back, think, go back to your training, and then relay the most appropriate answer? That's just a quick example. But I hope that you guys liked the video. If you did, please like, comment, share. It'll really help this channel out a lot. Until then, mind Gym Chronicles. This has been peace.